You know, if you have a favorite sports team, it's easy to love them whenever they're in the winner circle. It's easy to be a part of the team whenever they're in the winner circle. When they win the Super Bowl, when they win the championships, football, baseball, softball, soccer, hockey, whatever your sport is, whoever your team is, when they're on top and they're doing great, it's easy to love them because you feel a part of something that is doing really well, and it's easy to be bragged on. When no one else can tell you anything because you know that everything's okay, everything's good, everything's great, everybody's in the winner circle, it is easy to love that team, that player. If you're a sports fan, you have your favorite team. Some people are a little bit of a bandwagon side. They follow whoever's winning. I'm talking to the people who know their team. They're die hard all the way. Either they were born loving that team or they eventually found them and they've fallen in love with them ever since. What do you do when that team is having some bad seasons? Not just a bad game, not just a couple bad games. A bad game is nothing. A bad game can be turned around. You hear coaches tell their players all the time, it's okay, we didn't do so well today, we'll train, we'll make up for it, we'll come back. Bad seasons are a little bit tougher to get around. But you can still come back from a bad season. Everybody living in life has different seasons. They are good, they are great, they are bad, they are horrible. Some seasons, there's nothing going on. And believe it or not, those seasons right there are the ones you really want to take your time and appreciate. Things don't always have to be great. But you would rather it be normal than all hell breaking loose. Your team is going to have some bad moments. Your player is going to have some bad moments. Some rough games, some bad seasons. It's just the way of the world. Not everything is perfect. Not everything's great. Nobody stays on top all the time. And so now I direct this towards you, the person listening. Right now, I'm willing to bet that somebody stumbled upon this podcast who's probably driving on their way to work, driving their way home, on break, or just sat down after a really long day, and you're fighting some tears back inside because you've been trying your best to work on something that you love, that you enjoy. And it seems like you can't go anywhere in life with it. I'm talking to the dreamers. I am talking to the people who have goals that they want to turn into reality. But there's a barrier, there's a wall there. You know what I'm talking about. You just can't get past it. You can't get that promotion that you want. You can't marry that girl or that guy that you want. You can't buy that house that you really want. You can't send your kids to the school that you want. You can't live the life that you want. And we can get into the whole thing about, you were placed there to learn something and grow from that. And that is a good point. I believe it's true. But after a while, it just gets old. You know what I'm talking about. Listen, it just gets old. There comes a point in time where you get and you say, Justin, I'm done learning. I think I've learned about as much as I possibly can from being poor, not being able to do anything, not being able to go further in life. I have tried. I have given it my all. I have done everything I know how to. And I still can't move forward. So you know what I would say? Dig in to the earth. Right now, you are being pushed off a cliff. The whole world and its negativity and the rest of the people out there are pushing against you, trying to pull you off of that cliff. They're pushing against your team, your players. Do you give up? Do you give up and let them push you? Do you fall off of that cliff? Do you look around in the fire and say, I ain't too sure about this? Your friends are over on the side of you saying, look, you're in a bad state. You're in a fallen position right now. Take my hand, come with us. Let me get you out of here. Come with me. Make better money over here. Let's do this. Let's work on this together. And for some of you, you've been miserable a long time. You know for sure that it would be a better bet to do so. I don't want to ever tell anybody to do anything that could put them in a worse position than what they already are in. I want you to do better. I want you to get better. Using your judgment, if you honestly know, I shouldn't say think, if you know that it's a better move, you got to do what you have to move up in this world. You got to do what's best for you. But for some of us, there is a light that still burns inside of us. When we look at who we are and we look at our destiny, some of us know our destiny. It's just there on the back of our shoulder. We can feel it. We know that we're where we're supposed to be. But we're in a bad season. We're in a bad time in our life. We were doing well last year. Now all of a sudden we're not doing so great. Maybe next year we'll do better. Maybe next year we won't. We'll get worse. Meanwhile, you, your players, your team are constantly being shoved against on that cliff. And that spark, that energy, that fire that is burning inside of you ignites, and you dig your heels in and you say, I'm not going nowhere. And neither are the rest of us. I love who I am. I love what I do. I love the people in my life. I love what I stand for. These are the things that burn inside you. Even when all hell is breaking loose. Even when you, your players, your team is under attack. You dig in your heels. And you say, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this. Not only are we going to get through this, we are going to come out much stronger than ever before. I can promise you we will come out stronger than ever before. It takes failure to grow. We don't like failure. It hurts. It crushes our soul. But how you deal with that failure, how you learn from it, how you grow from it, determines greatness and legends. There is something that is burning inside of you that has had you so confused for a long time right now, I'm willing to bet. And you've asked this question 100 times to yourself, to your friends, to your family. What do I do? Do I stay? Do I go? Do I change this? Do I do that? But somewhere down deep inside, you have something telling you that you were brought there for a reason. And that this will pass. Only a certain few are going to hold on to that and say, I'm not going anywhere. Throw what you got. Give me your best. Push against me. And I will push back. But you are not knocking me off this cliff. I am not going down like this. My players, my team aren't going down like this. We will fight back. Don't ever lose sight of that spirit that is burning deep down inside you. Don't never lose sight of that motivation. Don't never forget that where you once were, you're far better today than you were back then. What you have now, you once craved. You once desired it. And just as you're desiring that next step in life, it will come. This world is running out of folks that will be loyal unto death. It's really running out. They're only out here for themselves. And I don't blame you, most of you. I honestly don't. But sometimes you realize that you're a part of something bigger than just yourself. That there's meaning. That there's destiny. That there's purpose. And once you find that, there is no force on this earth that can knock you down. That can push you off that cliff. That fire that burns deep down inside of you. I have to ask, is it merely just an ember by now? Still there, but very faint, very small glow. Hardly no light, hardly no heat. Easing its way out. I think it's time to reignite that ember. Reignite that flame. And remember that you were brought where you are for a reason. You understand now that you're not in the winner's circle, but you'll be there again one day. And now that you're not in the winner's circle, you look around and you realize how much you've probably taken it for granted before in the past. And how much more you'll appreciate it once you get back in that winner's circle. Stick with your guns. Stick with your team. Stick with your players. No matter what they go through, no matter what other people say about them, say about you, you do what you feel is right. You do what makes you you. You do what brings you purpose in life. Nobody else can bring that to you except you. Your purpose. Every single person living on this earth has a purpose. Don't care who you are. Don't care where you come from. You have a purpose. So, this was something I just wanted to get off my chest. It's easy for us to gloat, be happy about things when everything's going great, but when you yourself or something you're a part of comes under fire, when you're no longer in the winner's circle, or even if the whole world seems like it's turned against you, it's a lot worse. It's a lot harder to stay happy, motivated, appreciated. Your mind starts to wonder if it's time to leave. You just want to get back in the winner's circle. It don't matter where you at, what's happening. You just want to get back in that winner's circle. Never realizing that maybe you are the key to bringing who you're with back in the winner's circle. I'd rather be true to who I am, with the purpose I know that was blessed to me, in the loser lane, than to trade everything I believe in, what makes me happy, just to be back in the winner's circle. I'd rather be a true failure than a fake winner. Let that sink in for a minute. I love you guys. It's been your good friend Justin here on today's podcast episode. I hope you guys find that ember. Hope you get that spark back going. The world's needing more people with a good fire burning in them. I love you guys. See you in the next episode.